Anything would ever be this good forever. It's Friday! Woo! Bitches! It's Drinking Friday. That is not the reason for the late start to the show, by the way. It is 12:35 on this beautiful Friday, October 5th, I think, 2012, and yeah, it's Beer Friday. So I went to Tops today. Tops is the local grocery store here in Western New York. Also, they're in Western Pennsylvania and Northeast Ohio even, but pretty prevalent around here. And they have this deal, well, not a deal so much, but they have this thing, like single bottles of beer for like $1.79. Like whatever kind you want. So that's kind of cool. So I already had my Aviator Red. That's gone. And so now I have two to choose from. I have Magic Hat number 9. One of my favorite beers. Never used to be. I never liked Magic Hat number 9. I always thought it was too hoppy, but it is a taste that has definitely grown on me. And now I like it a lot. It's one of my favorites. And Saranac Pumpkin Ale. I will drink both of these during the course of the show, but I'm trying to decide which to drink first. Like, do I drink the Magic Hat and then end with dessert? Or do I drink the dessert beer and then end with something hoppy? I'm not sure. I'm a little, I don't know. Let's end with dessert. We'll end with the pumpkin ale. So, Magic Hat number 9. Woo! I don't like drinking out of bottles, by the way. Oh, that is so good. So, I tend to drink out of glasses. I don't really know the reason for that. It's just true. So anyway, Tops has this deal, $1.79 per beer, and you can like make your own 6-pack or whatever. And I've never seen that before. I mean, oh my God. It's like sex in a glass, I think. I don't remember what sex in a glass is like. I've never actually had sex in a glass, but beer in a glass is good. Anyway, so I would expect it from like Consumer's Beverage, which is our local beer store, but I wouldn't necessarily expect it from Tops, from the grocery store. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty geeked about that. All right, so today is Friday, and that means that it's Beer Friday because why the hell not? Because I don't have to work today, and although I do have some fun and interesting things to do, and we're going to discuss that. I have to go to the DMV, actually. My driver's license needs to be renewed, and so I have to go to the DMV, so I probably shouldn't get too snookered, although I'm not driving to the DMV. It's not like I'm going to drink and drive to the DMV, but I'm going to the DMV. Like, I'm going to get my driver's license renewed. And be like, hi, how are you? I would like one driver's license. Although I'm never actually like that, but that'd be fun, wouldn't it? So, yeah, there's like this part of me that says, maybe Beer Friday isn't such a good day, and then there's part of it that says, it's Friday. Beer Friday is definitely a good day. It's definitely a good thing. So, I do have things that I want to talk about, including but not limited to my upcoming trip to the DMV. I don't know how your DMV is, but my DMV actually doesn't suck. The DMV here in Lockport, New York, goes fairly quickly, doesn't suck too bad, and I'm not necessarily hating the idea of going. I'm looking forward to getting a new photo, because, I don't have it on me. The photo that's on my current license, I pretty much look like a terrorist, and I would like to not look like a terrorist, because, I don't know, it makes it easier when crossing bridges to not look like a terrorist. Just a thought out there. Because there are reasons to cross bridges, because here where I live, like, Canada is that way, and it's like 20 minutes that way. Like, 20 minutes that way, I'm in another country. And I know that, like, here in Western New York, to my Western New York friends who are watching, listening, Canada is not another country, but to other people in other parts of the world, it definitely is. So when I lived in Ohio, for example, and I would talk about going to Canada, they were like, you would go to Canada? How can you go to Canada? That is another country. Here, though, it's just like, dude, it's like Canada. Actually, when I was, Mom, don't listen. Earmuffs. Mom, don't listen. My mother watches this show sometimes, and there are things that I may say that I don't necessarily want her to hear. So, Mom, earmuffs. When I was in high school, I would skip school with some friends of mine. We would walk to Canada. That's how close I lived to Canada. Not anymore. Now I'm further away. But when I was in high school, it was still a lengthy walk. But we would skip school and walk to Canada. And I don't even know what the hell we did. But it was cool. It was another country. I don't know why they let us in, but they did. Anyway, doesn't matter. I want to talk about the debate because there are still so many things about the debate that have yet to be discussed. Things that have come out since the debate. Also, there's a new jobs report out, and it's good news for Obama, and it's bad news for Romney. So we've got good news for Romney, which is the debate, and we've got bad news for Romney, which is the jobs numbers. And then we've got Beer Friday, and I'm drinking Magic Hat number 9, and I will, before the end of the show, I will open this Saranac Pumpkin Ale. I also still have, actually it's funny, so last week for Friday, before the show, I bought a 12-pack of Sam Adams Boston Lager. I drank 4 of them on Friday, and I drank 1 since. So I still have like 7. I can't do math. I can't do math when I'm not drinking, and I'm drinking, so I obviously can't do math. So I still have 7 of those. I may drink some of those later tonight, but I don't really drink much. I used to drink a lot. Here's a fun fact. No, we're going to save that fun fact for another day. Except it won't be a fun fact on another day. Today's an anniversary of a bad day. A year ago today was a really shitty day for me. And I'm drinking in honor of that not being today. Yes. All right, so more debate news. Nate Silver, he's my poll guy. I've talked about Nate Silver repeatedly because to me he's not God, but he is like Moses or something. He is definitely well, that would be Jesus to the right hand of God, right? Like he's seated near God somewhere when it comes to polling because he seems to really be able to figure things out as though he had signed a pact with the devil. Wouldn't be Moses because I don't think Moses and the devil got along, but he really is good at figuring out polls. He says that it's still too early to tell the effect from the debate the other night, and he's not really sure what happens. He says the most likely range of outcomes is that Mitt Romney will gain between 1 point and 4 points in the national polls on Obama once the effects of the debate are really fully accounted for. So, definitely, in his opinion, going to be a net gain for Mitt Romney. But the difference between 1 point and 4 points is huge. It is really the difference between winning and losing. 1 point. If Mitt Romney were to gain 1 point from the polls, that would mean that he would be behind still. He would have 48% of the electorate, and Barack Obama would have 50% of the electorate. So 1 point is like, all right, we're getting there, but still losing. 4 points, on the other hand, completely flips it. Right now, it's 51 to 47 Obama. If Romney gets those 4 points, obviously he's going to get those 4 points from Obama, so that would flip it. It would make it 51-47 Romney. Huge difference. Either it's closer or Romney is in the lead. That's huge. That is significantly huge. When you think about the fact that just a week ago, we were talking about Barack Obama running away with this election, and now we're looking at the possibility of Mitt Romney being in the lead because, and I say this politely, Mr. President, if you're watching, I say this politely, the president sucked balls at the debate the other night. He was horrible. He was absolutely horrible. Saw someone say today on Facebook that, well, he's got running the country to do, and he's got other things, and he doesn't have time to prepare for a debate. Bullshit. He's got nothing to do but prepare for a debate. His job right now is to get reelected. Yes, there is a country to run, and he will continue to do that, but do you really think that he runs the country? He's got people that do that, and he oversees them. His job on Wednesday was to win the debate, and he failed miserably. Now look, when I was in high school, I had a job interview at a record store. Remember record stores? They were fun. I had a job interview at a record store, and I went wearing a t-shirt. Now, typically when I have job interviews, and I haven't really had, it's fun. Actually, this is a fun thing you can do. Sit down and try and write down all the jobs you've ever had. It's a lot harder than you would think, unless, of course, you've only had like 3 jobs in your life, then whatever. But for me to sit down and write down all the jobs I've ever had, not that easy. Doesn't matter. I applied for this job at a record store at the Factory Outlet Mall. Now it's the Prime Outlets of Niagara, or the Fashion Outlets of Niagara, or the Outlets of, I don't know what it is, but it used to be, back in the Dizay, it was kind of like, it was the crappy mall. Went there the other day. It's not the crappy mall anymore. Now, what was the cool mall growing up? It's not even a mall anymore. I think they actually just completely closed it. So, funny how things work. But I went to a job interview at a record store wearing a t-shirt. Now, my thought process here was, it's a record store. Of course I'm going to wear a t-shirt. I wore a Jesus Jones t-shirt. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be. Yeah. Music Wars. Somebody said Music Wars on Twitter for no reason whatsoever 18 minutes ago. And now I'm singing. And it is a music war because everybody's like, make him stop. Anyway, so I went to this job interview wearing a t-shirt. And I was like, I just know I'm going to get this job because I'm wearing a Jesus Jones t-shirt. And I think Jesus Jones actually played in the store while I was there. And I thought, this is my sign. This just in, signs don't matter. I didn't get that job. And why did I get that job? Because I didn't go prepared for the interview. I should have studied. I should have thought about things, but instead I wore my lucky t-shirt and I went to the job interview and it didn't work out. That's what happened to Barack Obama on Wednesday night. He went to a job interview completely ill-prepared. He's like, hey, you know what? I know how to run the country and shit, and we're just gonna roll in. Magic at number 9. Brewing with Scott Leffler. Can you... Let's see, can it focus on that? It says Brewfest. Brewfest. Get it? Get it! Good. So, he went to this job interview, and he was completely ill-prepared. And he's really seeing the effects of it. And some people are going to stick up for him and be like, oh, well, you know, he's the president, he's got things to do, and no, I'm not buying it. I don't care. He should have been better prepared than that. Now, Al Gore, former presidential candidate, former vice president Al Gore. I like him. Nice guy. The whole global warming thing, I completely buy into it. I completely understand where Al Gore is coming from. The effects of the beer start to take hold. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I love Fridays. I have to go to the DMV later. Did I mention that? I did. So, Al Gore was a pretty good vice president, in my opinion. A horrible presidential candidate, in my opinion. And since then, he's been sort of like, he's the Jimmy Carter of the environment, right? So, he says, yesterday, he says that Obama's poor performance could, maybe, possibly, be on the account of the altitude in Denver. This is not a joke. I'm not kidding. Al Gore actually said, well, you know, it's pretty high up there in Denver, and so maybe that's why he didn't perform well. Crazy! Except, hold on, wait, except it's not crazy. Look, some people think that global warming is crazy. They're like, we're just human beings. We could not possibly have any effect whatsoever on the world. Do you have a dog? Has your dog ever had fleas? Do the fleas have an effect on the dog? Look, I realize I just compared us to fleas, but yeah, we're going to have an effect on the world. Global warming, I'm pretty sure it's real. If you don't believe in global warming, you probably don't believe in evolution. And if you don't believe in evolution, you probably think that the world is 2,000 years old. And if you think that the world is, I'm sorry, not 2,000, 5,000, right? If you think that the world is 5,000 years old, then what's with the dinosaur bones? I'm just saying. I don't know. Anyway, Al Gore says Obama's poor performance could be on account of the altitude. Sounds crazy, except there is real science behind it. Just like there's real science behind global warming, just like there's real science behind evolution. This is not crackpot liberals with their smartiness. This is like things that actually happen. So altitude sickness is a thing, and apparently, if you were to fly into Denver, and I've flown into Denver before, although I didn't stay, I just flew through Denver on my way to Reno. Really, on my way to Reno. So, but if you go to Denver, apparently being up, Mile High City, right? Apparently being up so high because there's a lack of oxygen, not a complete lack of oxygen, obviously, but because there is less oxygen than there is down here where we're at, it makes you groggy. Now, the president allegedly had come in just a couple hours before the debate and didn't have time to acclimate himself to the groggy situation that is Denver, Colorado. So, there is real science to it. However, I'm calling bullshit. And here's why. Look, even if that's the real reason, even if Barack Obama was groggy because of the altitude sickness thing, whatever, like, dude, you are the president of the United States. You should know better. You should have shown up earlier, like, for example, Mitt Romney did. So, even if he was groggy because, like, that's like saying that you didn't perform well in the Super Bowl because you were up all night drinking. Like, that's not... That may be an excuse, but it's not valid. That may be your reasoning, but it doesn't let you off the hook. You can't just completely screw something up and then be like, dude, I was totally unprepared because, like, I didn't show up in time and, like, I was drinking and stuff. And so... those hookers that were in my bed, I didn't even know them before tonight, and they don't matter at all. Brewing. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler. Pumpkin Ale. This will be our last beer for the day. Well, no. This will be our last beer for the show. Probably. I do have more beer in the fridge. I don't plan on breaking it out. But it's possible. Anything is possible. Saranac Pumpkin Ale. Now, alright, so the first beer that I had, which I actually had before I started the show, the Aviator Red. It's a Flying Bison beer made right here in Buffalo, New York. And it's very, very tasty. The Flying Bison Brewery is on, I think it's on Ontario Street in Buffalo. It's very cool. They do tours. If you ever get a chance, go on the tour. If you ever get a chance to tour a brewery, period, do it. I've toured a few in my lifetime, and they're always a lot of fun. Saranac is a local-ish beer, which is made where? Oh, here's the thing. So I have this thing at the DMV today, right? Like, you've seen that I wear glasses, right? But I don't have to wear glasses. It just makes life easier. Excuse me. I'm sniffling. But I don't want to wear glasses for the thing at the DMV because I don't want to have to wear my glasses. Because if you wear the glasses for the... I assume I have to do an eye test. If you wear the glasses for the eye test, then you have to wear the glasses all the time. And I don't want to have to wear the glasses all the time because my vision isn't that bad. But, yeah. I say this because I'm trying to read this, and it just ain't working. I do need glasses to read. Well, I don't need glasses to read. They're helpful. Did you know that according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects? And consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or do a talk show. No, or operate machinery, and may cause health problems and life problems. Saranac. Local-ish brewery. So, my point is, if that really is the excuse that, like, he was up too high, I'm calling bullshit. Because, dude, you're the president of the United States. You could have gone to Denver whenever you wanted to. So, I'm not buying it. So, that's my personal thoughts. Hey! Hi, Tracy, how are you? Somebody said... Sorry, a friend of mine, girl I went to high school with, girl I went to middle school with, girl I went to elementary school with. I have a lot of friends that I've been friends with since, like, first grade. Is that normal? I don't think it's normal. Maybe it is normal. It's Facebook, dude, right? So, anyway, hi, Tracy. Thanks for watching. All right, back to the debate. Mitt Romney, during the debate, when he got to the debate, he walked up to the podium, and he takes something out of his pocket, and he sets it down. And everybody's like, oh, what is that? Dude, was that like a cheat sheet? Like, does Mitt Romney cheating because he, like, wrote notes and then he's going to cheat during the debate? And, oh, my God. Dude, really? All right, so as the it turns out, the cheat sheet that Mitt Romney had was a handkerchief, which he used during the debate because he's up on stage and it's sweaty, which could explain why he was squinting the whole time, right? I felt like he was squinting the whole time. Like, who's the guy that squints? And he has the nasal voice like this, which I realized was my voice yesterday for somebody, but Gilbert Gottfried. He's got that squinty thing, squinty in the nasally, and I'm a parrot named Iago. That's the only thing I know that Gilbert Gottfried does. Anyway, so it was very bright there. He was probably sweating, so he used this handkerchief, whatever. So, but he brings this thing out, and crazy liberals are like, oh, he's cheating. He's got notes. Dude, let's pretend he did have notes. Is that really problematic? Is it really a problem to bring notes to a debate? Like, did he really kick Obama's ass because he had notes? Or did he kick Obama's ass because Obama was groggy because he was up too high? Or did he kick Obama's ass because Obama was like, he's Mitt Romney, I'm going to own this. And then when it came to it, he was like, dude, I totally did not own that. And that's because Mitt Romney cheated. He had notes. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you're the President of the United States, you're allowed to use notes. I don't think that you have to do everything off the top of your head. I think it's okay to have notes. But no, the Democrats, the crazy liberals are like, he had notes, he's cheating. All right, Democrats, look, I love you, except I don't like you at all. But let's pretend I do, all right? Let's pretend, oh my God, that is so good. Saranac Pumpkin Ale? Hell yeah. I like this. I like Friday shows. Last week I drank all one beer. This week it's mixing it. Oh my God. It's like sex in a glass, which is what the other beer was like. But this is different. This is sex with a pumpkin. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, Democrats. So here's an idea. Maybe you could just admit that your guy sucked. Maybe you could just admit that your guy did not win the other night. Maybe you could just admit that the debate didn't go as well as you wanted to for what, it doesn't matter what the reason is, but really Mitt Romney cheated? How do you cheat in a debate? Did you do debates like in high school and shit? Stuff? Things? Did you have notes? I'm pretty sure it was okay to have notes. Did you ever do public speaking class? I'm pretty sure it was okay to have notes. Like, I don't... And as it turns out, it wasn't even notes, it was a handkerchief. But again, let's pretend it was notes. It doesn't change the fact that the reason your guy lost is because he sucked. It had nothing to do with the other guy had notes. Anyway, it reminds me of... Do you remember in 2004, one of the debates between George W. Bush and John Kerry? You remember John Kerry? I try to forget John Kerry, but I do remember him. By the way, this is not a joke. John Kerry is the reason I'm not a Democrat. Before John Kerry got nominated to be the standard bearer of the Democratic Party, I was a registered Democrat. And then once he got nominated, I said, dude, I'm out. Like, really, if this is what we got, I'm out. So yeah, John Kerry. But you remember in 2004, there was a debate between Kerry and George W. Bush, and people thought that George W. Bush had like a wireless receiver in his ear, and they're like, there's like a pack on his back, and you could see it, and he's getting... And, like, I don't know what it is with Democrats and being incapable of admitting that they have been defeated. Being capable... Yes, dear, pumpkins are squishy inside. Kind of like apple pies, but... Wow, alright. You can tweet me during the show, by the way. All I'm getting via tweets is girls that I went to high school with. I don't know what that's about, but pumpkins are squishy inside, and I suppose that, wow, where was I? I really don't know. Romney, Obama, George W. Bush, pack on the back. George W. Bush was cheating in the debate because, like, there was a thing in his ear and he was getting, like, all right, debates are not about substance. They're about style. Debates are not about what people say. It's about how they say it. So it doesn't matter what Mitt Romney has written on his napkin. And it doesn't matter what somebody is saying in George W. Bush's ear, because they still have to say it out loud, and they still have to make the other guy look bad, which both of them did. Look, I couldn't stand George W. Bush. I thought he was pompous. I thought his entire presidency was about making up for the fact that his father sucked at life. His entire presidency was trying to make up for Dad. But he was still better than John Kerry. Yes, dear, you did just knock me off my game. Thank you. Also, I'm drinking because it's Friday. And I have to go to the DMV after this. And I have to deliver my daughter's papers again. Like, all right. My daughter, I love her dearly. She got a paper out in the summer. And once the school year started, I got a paper out. Now, she's at the tennis team, and fortunately tennis ends soon. And once tennis ends, she will be delivering her papers. But until then, I'm pretty much a paper boy again. Now, when I was 12 years old, I got my first paper out. I delivered the Niagara Gazette, and I delivered it to half of my street. That then expanded to my whole street. My street that I grew up on was fairly long, and it was split into two paper routes. So I took one of them, and then the other one opened up, and then that became one big paper route. Now, growing up, I delivered between 70 and 80 papers every single day. I made a killing, by the way. Delivering papers when you're young, like, it might not seem like you could make money at it, but I did. And as soon as I was capable of getting a real job, I got a job at Burger King. So I delivered the paper and had a real job. I want to say 14, maybe 15. I don't remember when you could get a job at Burger King, but whatever you could, I did. From that point, assuming that the paper route is a job, from age 14 or 15, whatever, until about age 33, I had 2 jobs my whole life. Now, during college, one of my jobs was going to college. But aside from going to college, I had a full-time job the whole time. Worked for a restaurant for a while. Worked at a gas station for a while. Worked for McDonald's for a while. And then McDonald's ended up being my career, although that didn't pan out. Well, it did. It worked out, except it was hellish on my marriage. And so I decided to choose my marriage over McDonald's. In retrospect, maybe I chose poorly. I don't know. Anyway, yes, it is a wonderful thing that I am off the DMV after this. I can walk to the DMV, though. One of the things that I love about where I live is I can walk anywhere. In worst case scenario, I can ride my bike. So, I don't have to drive to the DMV and be like, woohoo, I'm drunk and I need a new driver's license. I'm not drunk yet, but I am getting there, and I'm thinking that I should actually, when I'm done with this, I should have another beer, and I should just be off my face when I go to the DMV. I think it'll be fun. Anyway, what was I talking about my jobs for? I had 2 jobs my whole life. Now I just have 1, plus this. This is fun. I enjoy doing this. I do this every day at 12:30. Monday through Thursday, I drink coffee, and the show is 1 show. Fridays, I drink beer, and I have a feeling, now maybe you can tell me, I may be right, I may be wrong, but I have a feeling on Fridays it's a different show. I have a feeling that there's a different feel to it. I'm not sure. Anyway, where was I? Democrats don't like to admit defeat. Look, I don't care if Mitt Romney had a cheat sheet, and I don't care if George W. Bush had a thing in his ear, and I don't care. The fact of the matter is, Democrats, get your shit together, because really, get your shit together. Now, on that note, there is good news for Barack Obama. And that good news came today. Friday, today, new jobs report. Today is the first Friday in October, and there is a new report on unemployment. And that report states that, hold on, this is very important, hold on, hold on, music. XM Radio, Lithium. It's the 90s station. Because I am a 90s child. The Jesus Jones reference earlier. Alright, right, so the jobs report says unemployment is at 7.8%. Now, 7.8% is kind of high. That basically means that 1 in 12 people remains unemployed. However, the 7.8%, this is a big deal. Now, it's down by just a little tiny fraction, right? But it is below 8%. This is the first dip below 8% since Barack Obama took office. In other words, this note that Mitt Romney keeps bringing up, that unemployment hasn't dipped below 8%, unemployment has been above 8%, unemployment, like 8% is like, this is the thing that they keep talking about, 8%. Now, because it has dipped below 8%, that talking point is now moot. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. Basically, all right, imagine you're in a relationship and you say to your husband, since apparently only women watch this show, and I love you girls, thank you so much for watching, or at least women only tweet during the show. By the way, you can tweet during the show. Send me messages at Scott Leffler via Twitter, or you can actually talk to me right over ustream.tv, which I think is how my female friends, I want to say girlfriends, but not girlfriends, you know what I mean, female friends from high school, I think that's how they're talking to me, right through ustream.tv. Dude, really? I completely forgot what I was talking about. Beer will help. Alright, so since Obama took office, I'm just starting over because I don't know where I was. Since Obama took office, unemployment has been above 8%. Now it's below 8%. And so this talking point is just, it's moot. It doesn't matter anymore. They can't use that anymore. Here's where I was. You say to your husband, boyfriend, whatever, you never buy me flowers. Well, then he buys you flowers, right? Well, you can't say you never buy me flowers anymore. You can say you've only bought me flowers once. But you can't say your talking point is gone. When you complain about something and someone fixes that something, then you can't complain about that anymore. When you say you never X, but then someone does X, then you can't say you never X anymore. You can say that you don't X enough. Wow, this could be really dirty, depending on what X is. Like, it could be really, really... And I am drinking, so who knows? Anyway, you can't complain about something when someone has corrected something. So Mitt Romney keeps saying, in fact, it was a point the other night during the debate, unemployment remains above 8%. Well, now unemployment is below 8%. And so now that talking point is gone. Despite the fact that it's only off by a couple of fractions of a percent, it is below that 8% mark. Now, why is 8% important? Well, one, because it has been the benchmark. When your benchmark is X and then you beat the benchmark, then you have a new benchmark, and suddenly your old benchmark doesn't matter anymore. Two, no president, and I don't know where this statistic comes from, but it's been spoken of frequently, especially over the course of the past couple of years. No president has ever been reelected with unemployment above 8% since FDR. Also, because it is now below 8%, for the first time in Obama's presidency, he can say, see, what we're doing is working. So this jobs report is horribly, horribly damning for Mitt Romney. As good as he did in the debate the other night, this jobs report is just as bad. And I suspect that any gains that he got from the debate the other night will be countered because of this jobs report. So that's kind of fun. Now, the Romney campaign, of course, says they released a written statement today saying that the report, like, it's positive, but it's still not good enough. All right, expected. Barack Obama, meanwhile, tweeted, quote, "It's a reminder that this country has come too far to turn back now." And there's the new talking point. The new talking point is, it's working. Whatever it is Barack Obama is doing, it's working. Do I believe that? I'm not entirely sure. The economy ebbs and flows. I don't know how much the president matters. But this is very interesting. So, over the weekend, do me a favor. All right, this is important. All right, I'm almost out of beer, so we're going to have to end the show because I need more beer and it's way in the other room and I don't feel like carrying the laptop in there with me. Over the weekend, I would like you to do me a favor. This is important. Find a friend, find a loved one, find a colleague, find someone, and go out to eat with them. And if you don't normally order an appetizer, do so. If you don't normally get daiquiris, do that. Spend $10 more than you normally would this weekend. Because it'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. It won't fix the economy, but it will help the economy. And so do yourself a favor and spend 10 extra bucks this weekend. Not for the sake of Barack Obama. Screw him. I don't care who's president, frankly. Barack Obama, Mitt Romney, they're the same person. One's black, one's white, same guy. No, really. I know you don't believe that, but really, they're the same person. Overall, I like Democrats more than Republicans, but really, in the long run, and this is scary to admit, Ralph Nader was right. It didn't matter who was president in the year 2000. George W. Bush, Al Gore, same guy. Except that one guy believes in altitude sickness and the other guy doesn't. But for the sake of the country, for the sake of your friends, for the sake of those poor folks that are working at restaurants, order an appetizer. Get an extra round of drinks. Spend $10 more than you normally would. Because it will come back to you. And it will be good for us. And here's the end of my beer. Here's the music. And here's the end of Friday's show. I'll be back on Monday, sober, having fun. I gotta go to the DMV now. This'll be fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. And to those of you who tweeted during the show, thank you so much. Dude, drink for lunch on Friday. I think this is something that we can definitely make happen in the world. Friday lunch equals drinking. I think this is something that we can work on. To those of you who tweeted me, thank you so much. I love you. And to those of you who just watched, I love you too. I'll post my thoughts on Twitter and Facebook and etc. etc. Follow me on Twitter at Scott Leffler, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. I want to say thank you repeatedly, but I don't need to. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to hit this button right here that says stop. I'm going to hit it. Bye.